Hello Runescape, Wilmist here with a new video, and how is everyone doing? Runescape's had millions of players come in and out of the game over the past decade, and some of those players have managed to stand out and impress Jagex to such a degree that they ended up being added to the game. Therefore, I put together a list to show you 10 NPCs based on players in Runescape, players who at some point have been or still are a big part of the game in one way or another. So, let's get started. Number 1. Orchids. This NPC owns a rowing boat west of the Three Gnome stronghold, allowing players to sail up to Piscatoris fishing colony. The NPC is named after an account with the same name, also known as Mr. Chrysler. Mrs. Chrysler. Assuming I said that correctly. The player who suggested the addition of the boat in order to sail to Piscatoris, allowing the quest Swan Song to be released earlier than intended. Mod Ash, one of the developers of the quest, named the NPC after her as a thanks for the suggestion. Number 2. The Tippet crew. This is kind of a lot of players opposed to just one, but it's a fun one worth mentioning. In 2008, the gnome copter tours were added to the game, allowing free-to-play players to view members' content through a guided trip using gnome copters. During this trip, the players will be able to see a series of player spoofs, being player NPCs playing the various content. About 11 of these NPCs were named after staff from the then popular fansite Tippet, also called Rune Tips. The names are all variations of the original names, but were clearly named after the fansite crew. Number 3. Bodhi. We're heading over to old school RuneScape for this streaming icon who was immortalized in the game as an Easter egg together with number 4 Fall Freedom in October 2014. When Ironman mode was released in old school, 3 NPCs were added to Tutorial Island that allowed new accounts to switch over to the mode. The NPCs are named Adam and Paul, references to the real names of Bodhi and Fa. This is because they were among the first to play an unofficial custom version of Ironman mode before it was introduced to the game. Number 5. Saber 6, also known as Erin. In May 2014, just a few months before Adam and Paul, this girl got an Easter egg dedication in the form of a small duck that was named after her, which resided in Falador Park. However, the old school community went into a frenzy over this on social media and the forums, creating a massive controversy around this tiny addition, accusing Jagex of favoritism towards certain RuneScape streamers. Jagex responded a few days later, removing the duck altogether, and just like that ended the tribute to the streamer. Number 6. Duriel321. You've very likely heard of the Falador massacre that took place in June 2006, being unquestionably the most famous bug in RuneScape history. In June 2016, on its 10-year anniversary, Jagex released an event that recreated the massacre with a massive NPC that players could fight. This NPC was an exact replica of Duriel321, both outfit and name. His examined text was a reference to Planet Hell, a song by the band Nightwish, which is the soundtrack used in the most well-known YouTube video of the Falador massacre. In addition to Duriel's NPC, you could also visit the house of number 7, Curse You, whose 99 construction party triggered the original game-breaking bug that led to the massacre. An NPC bearing the name and outfit of Curse You were also created for the event. Number 8. Larrier. In 2006, Larrier was on the top of the high score in the Runecrafting skill, having 5 times the experience of rank 2. Unfortunately, Larrier quit the game at 157 million XP and never returned. In 2011, however, Jagex removed the Runecrafting skill kit from its seller Aubrey in Varrock and gave it to a new NPC in the Runecrafting guild, a Runecrafting expert called Larrier, named after Larrier, the original master. It's also worth mentioning that the NPC Wizard Phoenix is named after Phoenix Odin, the first player to obtain 200 million experience in Runecrafting. Number 9. Pressleek. The player Pressleek is known in the community for her art and her comics, several of which include Pakyaks, which she calls Barus. For this reason and her impact in the RuneScape community, Jagex decided to immortalize her in the game during the 2017 Spring Fair event, where an NPC with the same name and iconic outfit ran the yak shop, selling Pakyak items to players and sporting dialogue options that refer to some of her past comics. Even one of the in-game item tokens now bear one of her drawn yak heads. Finally, number 10. Though this isn't really an NPC, it's one of the most interesting additions to the game as a result of a player, and some of you will already have heard of the Old Knight. The veteran players of RuneScape will recognize the Old Knight as arguably one of the most famous players in the early ages of the game. Up until 2006, he was one of the few players able to closely compete with Zesima on the high scores, until he unfortunately passed away just weeks after maxing his account. After his passing, several players spread the word that Jagex had immortalized the Old Knight in the game with a sculpture called Statue of a Warrior. The statue was placed in the wilderness on a green hill with flowers around it. When examined, it would say this person was of great importance. After a while, the community started to believe the statue was of Komora, a hero from the 4th age in Runescape lore, or some other unannounced character. However, Mod Osborne confirmed for this video that the statue was indeed added in memory for the old knight after his passing. And that's it. 10 players in one way or another got their legacy in the game. It's worth mentioning that though these 10 players stand out in their own way, a handful of others have also been immortalized and are still viewable in the game, such as the Ironman achievements, which can be viewed by talking to Mr. X in Edgeville, and winning clans of previous clan cups that can be viewed on the various clan plagues around the game. Let me know if you liked this video, and please give it a thumbs up if you did. Also, a huge shout out to a true gamer who originally voiced this video back in December when I wasn't able to. I did some changes in the video since then, and now it's been like 4 months since we originally intended to release it, so, well, here I am, I guess. Well, thanks for watching, guys. My name is Wolmissit, and I'll see you guys later.